What if the most powerful thing you could say is nothing at all? No angry texts, no late-night calls, just complete silence. Not weakness, but control. Your silence becomes the closure, the message, the punishment. She expects noise, begging, proving your worth, but this time, you disappear in peace. Most men chase and over-explain, but a stoic man lets go. He feels the pain but doesn't become it. His silence says, I have nothing left for you. You chose this. Live with it. That silence creates a void where she once had power, and that's when regret sets in, not when you're texting, but when you're truly gone, evolving in the shadows. This isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming your power and turning heartbreak into strength. Silence becomes your loudest weapon. If you're done waiting for someone who made you an option, like, subscribe, and comment below. I released what I cannot control. Let's begin. Number 1. The power of silence. Silence isn't weakness. It's warfare. It's the move she never expects because it doesn't feed her ego, confirm her power, or offer her comfort. Most men, when left heartbroken, go into panic mode. They blow up her phone, pour their hearts out in long texts, searching for the perfect words to bring her back. But here's the hard truth. Every word you send when she walks away is proof. She still controls you. Every message is a thread tying you to someone who already let go. But silence is different. Silence happens when a man decides he's done performing, when he realizes his energy is valuable and not for someone who treats him like an option, when he understands that not responding is the most powerful response because silence isn't empty, it's full of message. It says, you don't get to walk away and still hear from me. You don't get to reject me and keep my attention. You don't get both. The moment you go silent, the power dynamic shifts. You're no longer reacting, reaching, or available. That absence becomes loud. She notices it in the mornings when she doesn't wake up to your name, in notifications that never come, in posts without your likes or views. That silence becomes a vacuum, forcing her to sit in the space she thought she wanted. And here, the stoic man separates himself from the emotional crowd. He doesn't go silent for attention, he goes silent because he's done seeking it. It's not manipulation, it's self-respect and control. He refuses to feed a cycle that costs him his peace. He accepts what he can't change and detaches from what he can't control. That's not weakness, that's strength. So when she realizes you're really gonna no breadcrumbs, no double taps, no just checking in texts, it hits different because she's not used to silence. She's used to noise, drama, emotion, and reaction. But you gave her nothing, and nothing is the one thing she can't spin, fight, or forget if you're done reacting and playing the fool for someone who walked away. Number 2. Control what you can, release what you can't. Pain hits hardest when you try to control the uncontrollable. You can't force someone to love you, argue them into seeing your worth, or make her stay when she's halfway out the door. The moment you try, you give your power away and trade your peace for a fantasy. That's where most men get stuck, trying to fix what was never theirs to fix. But the stoic path teaches something different, something liberating. You only control 2 things, your actions and your mindset. Everything else, let it go. When you stop trying to change her, you start changing yourself. You stop performing for approval and begging for clarity. A stoic man doesn't beg or chase, he accepts. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he refuses to be ruled by emotion. Her pulling away doesn't shake him because he doesn't build his identity around someone else's presence. He controls his frame. When she realizes her leaving didn't unbalance you, that's when regret creeps in. Most breakups feel chaotic because you try to reverse the outcome, replay conversations, reread texts, and wonder what you could have done differently. That's emotional slavery. Freedom comes the moment you decide she's gone and you're still you. You stop asking why and start building what's next. That shift from reaction to intention is when everything changes. You get stronger, mastering yourself, not controlling others. You become magnetic when you stop chasing and start choosing. When you accept what you cannot control, you become untouchable. If you're done trying to rewrite her decision and ready to master your response instead. Number 3. Attraction through absence. There's a reason disappearing works. It's not a trick. It's human psychology. We crave what's rare and chase what pulls away. The moment you remove yourself from her world, you become more valuable than any message you could send. When you're always available, always texting, always reacting, she knows you're predictable and easy. But when you go quiet, when your presence vanishes, her mind starts spinning. Where is he? Why hasn't he reached out? Is he over me? Now she's chasing answers, and attraction begins. Here's the cold truth. Most women don't regret losing a man who begged. They regret losing the man who made them feel safe, then vanished with dignity, the man who had feelings but wasn't controlled by them. That's stoicism paired with dark psychology. You don't give her the comfort of knowing you're still lingering in the background. No, you cut the supply. You disappear not to hurt her but to honor yourself. Because if someone can walk away from you without hesitation, they don't deserve front row access to your healing. You become more attractive when you create real, intentional, absent kind that forces her to face the consequences of her decision and question what she thought was guaranteed. If she doesn't regret it, good, you've already leveled up. If she does, even better, you're no longer waiting. Absence creates demand, and that demand is built on silence, discipline, and the strength to pull back and let your presence do the talking. She'll notice, she'll wonder. But you've moved on. You've become scarce. And in a world full of desperate attention, scarcity is power. If you're done proving your worth and ready to let your absence speak for you. Number 4, let her sit with her choices. Stop rescuing people from the consequences of their own decisions. She made a choice when she pulled away, stopped showing up, or let you go. Whether quietly or with drama, it was still a choice. Most men, feeling that sting, want to fix it, reach out, make sense of it, or find closure. But all that does is soften the blow she was meant to feel. If you step in to relieve her guilt, you rob her of regret. You make it easy. You give her an emotional safety net she doesn't deserve. Let her sit with it. Let her wonder why you never came back. Let her scroll through your feed and see silence. Let her realize she's no longer the center of your world, that your attention wasn't a guarantee, it was a gift. Your love wasn't weakness. It was rare, and now it's gone. This is where stoicism gets brutal, not because you're cold, but because you've accepted reality. You don't hate her or wish her harm. You're done saving people from themselves. You don't soften the lesson just because it's someone you cared about. You let them feel it fully, because only then do they understand what they lost. You want to make a woman regret losing you. Don't send long messages or try to explain the depth of what you gave. Just leave quietly, fully, and rebuild without them. That's when the silence starts screaming. That's when she realizes, I didn't lose just any man. I lost him. And by the time she figures it out, you'll be long gone, not out of spite, but out of discipline, growth, and respect for the man you're becoming. If you're done shielding her from the fallout she created. Number 5, rebuild in silence. Rise in the shadows. The loudest moves are made in silence. The greatest comebacks don't start with announcements. They start with isolation, focus, and discipline. After heartbreak, most guys want to be seen. They want to show her they're doing better, post their glow to prove they've moved on. But that's still reacting. They're still performing for her attention. A stoic man doesn't post his progress, he becomes the progress. He doesn't need applause or validation. His grind is personal, his evolution is private. When you rebuild in silence, you rise without noise. You stop explaining and start executing. You hit the gym not to flex on her, but to reclaim your body, your power, your control. You level up mentally, financially, spiritually, not for revenge, but because staying broken is no longer an option. Here's what makes it powerful. She won't see it coming. While she expects a version of you stuck in pain, you're outgrowing the entire situation. There's something deadly attractive about a man who vanishes into discipline or tweets. No updates, no look at me now, just silence. Then one day she stumbles across the new you, not the one crying over her, but the one who doesn't even blink when her name comes up. The man who used to beg now walks with purpose. That hits harder than anything you could have said. This is where dark psychology kicks in. People chase what they no longer understand. Mystery triggers obsession. She starts wondering how you healed, who you became, what she missed out on. But by then you won't be performing. You'll be too busy living, too focused on purpose to prove anything to her. If you're done trying to be seen and ready to move in silence, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My growth speaks louder than words. Number 6. Emotion is a tool, not a master. Pain is real, no doubt, but letting it control you, that's a choice. When she left, it hit you in the chest. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was betrayal, confusion, ego death, the feeling of being discarded like you were nothing. It's tempting to lash out, drown in sadness, let the pain take the wheel. But here's the truth. A stoic man knows emotions are signals, not commands. You feel them, but they don't run the show. This is where most men lose themselves. They get drunk on emotion, make decisions from wounds instead of wisdom. But a man with discipline feels it fully, then channels it. He doesn't run from pain, he uses it. Every ounce of heartbreak becomes fuel for the gym, the hustle, the focus. He turns rejection into obsession with his goals, peace, and purpose. He doesn't break, he sharpens. That's stoicism. Emotional control doesn't mean numbness, it means mastery. You don't suppress what you feel. You refuse to be enslaved by it. So yes, sometimes you think about hurt, that's human, but you don't act on it. You observe, breathe through it, then move forward. Every time you resist reaching out, every time you stay focused, when memories hit, you're winning quietly, relentlessly. You don't let emotions make decisions, you let discipline speak louder. Once you master that inner world, no one outside can shake it. If you're done being ruled by emotion and ready to turn pain into power, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I feel deeply, but I move wisely. Number 7. No response is a response. You don't owe her a reply, not a text, not one last conversation, not even a cold look. When someone disrespects your presence, your silence becomes the consequence. Most people can handle arguments, closure talks, even yelling, begging, breaking down. What they can't handle is being ignored, being met with nothing. That's where the power lives. She expects a response. She's conditioned to it, used to the emotional back and forth, the drama, the damage control, the ego massage. But when you say absolutely nothing, you break the cycle. You create a void she can't fill. You deny her what most men give freely, attention. And once you cut that off, she's left facing herself. No energy to feed on, no emotional payoff, just silence. This isn't about pettiness, it's about boundaries. You don't respond because there's nothing left to say. Respect is gone. Connection is dead. You've learned that peace is louder than closure. You don't chase answers or seek explanations. You move on. You evolve. You become unavailable not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Your attention becomes expensive. Your time, sacred. Let them wonder. Let them sit with unanswered messages and unsent replies. Let them feel what it's like to be met with stillness, because silence is final. It doesn't ask for clarity, doesn't argue, it simply ends things in a way words never could. If you're done explaining yourself to those who don't value you, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence says everything. Number 8. Reframe the narrative. You didn't get rejected, you got redirected. It's easy to think she left because you weren't enough, that something was wrong with you. That if you had tried harder, loved more, been better, she'd have stayed. But here's the truth. Her leaving wasn't the end of your worth, it was the start of your clarity. You didn't lose her. You lost the illusion she was meant for you. And that's a win. Stoicism is about perspective. You don't control what happens, you control how you see it. When you reframe the pain, everything changes. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me, you ask, what is this trying to teach me? That's the shift. That's where power is born. Pain isn't your enemy. Confusion isn't your enemy. Clinging to false stories, that's your enemy. Once you rewrite the story, you take your power back. She didn't break you. She revealed you. She showed you the cracks you ignored, weak spots, the missing boundaries, the need for approval. She didn't destroy you, she gave you the chance to become understood. Now, you build again, stronger walls, sharper vision, a heart that won't give itself away so easily. You're not a victim of her choice, you're the author of what's next. You decide how the story ends. And in your story, heartbreak was just the prologue. If you're done living the old story and ready to rewrite your ending, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. This pain rewrote my power. Number 9. Become the man you'd respect. Stop chasing her and start becoming him. The version of you that doesn't flinch when someone walks away. The one who doesn't need validation to feel valuable. The man who walks into a room and doesn't have to say a word because his energy speaks for him. That's the man you build now. Not for revenge, not to prove her wrong, but because you deserve to be that solid. Ask yourself, if you met the man you're becoming, would you respect him, trust him, follow him into battle? Or would you see someone still licking his wounds? This is the shift. You stop measuring your worth by her reaction and start measuring it by your own standards. Discipline, integrity, power, stillness. You build in the dark and rise with weight in your presence. She left, cool. Now build a life so complete, her absence doesn't echo anymore. You don't replace her. You replace the version of you that relied on her. Because the man who knows his worth doesn't chase, doesn't argue, doesn't beg. He chooses. He commands respect without raising his voice. He doesn't need to be loud. His aura handles it. This new version of you is sharp, focused, and walks differently. The irony. By the time she realizes what she lost, the man she knew will be gone, replaced by someone she no longer has access to. Someone she wouldn't even recognize if you're done acting like the man she wanted and ready to become the man you admire. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I become the man I respect. Number 10. She heard the echo of your absence. You didn't block her. You didn't curse her out. You didn't create drama. You just disappeared, and that's silence. It's louder than anything you could have said. Every time she opens her phone, she notices what's missing: your name, your presence, your energy. Every laugh she posts, every story she shares. There's a part of her wondering why you're not watching, not reacting, not chasing. That silence becomes an echo that follows her into every room. When a man truly lets go, it leaves a scar, because he hurt her, but because he didn't need to. No meltdown, no final plea, no emotional explosion, just stillness, just absence. A man who chose peace over noise, who didn't flinch when she walked away. That kind of silence lingers. It shows her the gap she thought she could fill later is now permanent. You don't owe her a performance, you don't owe her closure. Your absence is the closure, and it's haunting because now, when she hears your name, when she passes that place, when she hears that song, she's the one replaying it, not you. You've already moved on quietly, powerfully. While she scrolls for proof, you still care. You're too focused building a life that makes her memory irrelevant. That's what happens when a stoic man lets go, not with anger, but with discipline. And one thing's more unforgettable than passion: peace. She'll hear the echo of your silence long after her curiosity fades. But by then you'll be long gone. If you're done being an option and ready to become unforgettable by vanishing completely, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence will be remembered. Final truth. Walking away isn't about ego, it's about evolution. You're not punishing her. You're protecting you. You've spent enough time explaining, proving, lowering yourself just to be seen. That version of you, the one who chased overthought, stayed available while ignored, is gone. Good riddance. Now, you walk with weight. Your silence has purpose. Anyone who doesn't value your presence doesn't deserve to hear your voice again. You owe it to yourself to move forward with clarity, strength, and discipline, not bitter, just better. Isn't about winning her back. It's about never losing yourself again. She thought you'd break, thought you'd wait. She didn't expect you to go silent forever. But now that you have, you've become unforgettable. Here's your final move. Let go completely. Walk away, like you mean it. Build a life so grounded, peaceful, and powerful that even your silence leaves a legacy. If you're done chasing closure and ready to leave the past behind, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I leave with peace, not pieces. This is Stoic Blessing. Stay solid, stay silent, stay dangerous.